G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. This is just going to be my thoughts regarding the Miami Heat v Denver Nuggets game. But yeah, it's nice to see that after the last video that we actually ended up getting a blowout win. We win 109 to 82 against a very low-handed Heat side. They were obviously missing a lot of their players like Hero and Jimmy Butler off the top of my head. So their starting five wasn't that great at all. Just had to basically look out for Bam Adebayo and make sure Robinson didn't get hot, which we did. And we came out and started off really well. Managed to hold them to 12 points in the first quarter, and it was actually the guys who haven't been doing that well this year that started off really well, such as Barton and Millsap. They were really good in that first quarter, and I think Barton dropped all of his 10 points for the whole game in that first quarter. But yeah, that's another reason just how inconsistent he is, because he goes off for 10 points in the first quarter and then doesn't score again the whole rest of the game. Mind you, he did only play 21 minutes, but still, he just needs to keep that aggression. It was also good to see RJ Hampton get some game time. He only played 8 minutes, but he came in pretty early on and had a couple shots, but didn't really see his opportunity. Did get a couple steals though, so he's quite active on defense, which is what you want to see. He's quite a long guard. He's like 6'5", I think, so he's got a pretty decent wingspan as well. But yeah, and Gary Harris was also good. Our starting five started off very well, obviously. As I mentioned, we started off crazy good and ended up leading by 25 at halftime. But Gary Harris was playmaking as well. He actually led the team in assists. And you'd never expect that with the likes of Jokic and Jamal Murray on the team. But yes, Gary Harris was driving, and he's at his best when he's driving. And he manages to draw defenders, or he gets the easy layups, because he's not a great knockdown shooter. Like, he'll hit the open one every now and then, but he's not consistent enough. So it's good to see him driving by players and making plays himself, which is when Gary Harris is at his best, in my opinion. But then, of course, the third quarter started. We're up by 25. You think, all right, let's cruise to an easy win. We end up losing the third quarter by 16 points. So we only end up staying up by 9 at the start of the fourth. So we let them back into the game, which is very disappointing. One thing Miami did do is obviously shoot a lot of threes. In that first half, they weren't hitting anything. But in that third quarter, I think they were 6 for 10 or something in the third quarter from 3. So they busted their way back into the game. And they basically started because of Will Barton. I mentioned he started off the first quarter very well. In the third quarter, he had 2 straight turnovers and was just throwing the lead away. So it was good to see that Mike Malone eventually dragged him and ended up playing Michael Porter Jr. more and JaMychal Green more minutes as well, because they're our 2 best bench players. And I think if you want to pick our best 5, it's Murray. I guess you go Harris just because he's the lockdown defender. But then you go Porter over Barton, in my opinion. JaMychal Green over Millsap, in my opinion. And then Jokic, obviously. But we got JaMychal Green and Porter off the bench, and those guys will get buckets, as well as Monte Morris, actually. He'll get buckets as well, although he didn't have a very good game tonight. Probably one of his worst games for the season, as he went 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point land. Did get the 5 assists, though, and the 1 turnover, so about 5 to 1 assist turnover ratio, as Monte Morris has one of the best. But another reason Miami came back was they started playing their 2-3 zone, and we just couldn't break it down. And we should be able to break it down, especially when we have one of the best passing big men in the league ever. We should be getting it to Jokic more often. I mean, he was 9 of 14. He should be taking like 20 shots. He's that efficient. The only bad thing was he wasn't hitting his threes tonight. He was 1 of 5. I feel like if he's not hitting his threes, he should just give it up and go to that mid-post area where he's so dominant. And Bam's a good defender, but even Bam can't stop Jokic. But yeah, Green and Porter really helped us in the fourth quarter before we brought the starters back in to basically seal the game. Porter was huge, just taking a bunch of threes as well. He just has irrational confidence, and you love and hate it at the same time, because sometimes they're such bad shots, but he makes them as well, and you just can't help but think every single shot of his is going in because his shot's so smooth. Has that high release, Kevin Durant-esque. And Porter also had 4 steals in the game. He did almost offset that with 3 turnovers of his own, but anyway, you're going to take that. But yeah, it was a good win against a very undermanned Heat side, as I said, so we definitely needed to get the win here. I'd expect nothing less than a win, but it was good to get a blowout at least finally. And yeah, this is actually Denver's best start to the season on the road in franchise history, currently 7-2 on the road. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed, and let me know your opinions on what you thought of the game. I'll be playing the Spurs soon, so hopefully I'll bring out another review on that. But yeah, good win. 11-7 so far on the season. Starting to get into the groove. So let's go Nuggets. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.